And welcome to the Libertarian Affiliate Spotlight on LPTV, a production of the Libertarian Party Affiliate Support Committee. Valerie Sarwark serving as chair, and of course, the Libertarian National Committee. Whitney Billieu serving as chair. As always, John Gapso joins us on the big board. He's the one who's going to bring us pictures, conversations, graphics to liven up the conversation, and also, quite frankly, to give it the perspective that we need. I'm your host, Pat Ford. As always, it is a singular honor to work, to fight, to march alongside all of you on what is becoming perhaps the last stand for freedom, the last stand for liberty. We've got a special conversation to have right now. Chris Davis left us way too soon. If you knew Chris, you knew Chris Davis was that libertarian. A committed libertarian who lived a libertarian life, a committed radical libertarian, a proud Virginian who fought for liberty virtually, well, everywhere. Most importantly, he was a committed friend, a father, and husband. When we lose members of our family way too soon, the loss can be seen as, well, incalculable. At times like these, when both our way of life, our philosophy, our principles seem on a daily basis under siege, it would be great to have him, well, marching alongside of us, particularly for those of us, as he did, as I like to say, take it very, very personally. Joining us tonight is his wife, Erin. Folks who are from Indiana and around the country know Erin as on her own basis, a standalone warrior for liberty. She served the National Party, the Indiana Libertarian Party, serving most recently as its vice chair before moving to Virginia to join Chris. Erin, first of all, welcome to the show tonight. We're going to talk about your husband. We're going to talk about the Virginia Libertarian Party. We're going to talk about the convention for a few minutes. But as I expressed to you privately, and I think I speak for all of us, particularly the Libertarian Party Radical Caucus, of which I am a member and serve on its board, our condolences, and we, along with you, recognize your loss. Tell us just about, if you can, and I know we're going to have an ample opportunity to talk in Virginia, but if you can, tell us about his commitment, not only to his family, but to liberty as well.
So the Libertarian Party is actually how I met Christopher. We worked on many projects together, became really great friends, sent each other horrible memes. But I got the opportunity to work with him at the national level in 2019. And late 2019, 2020, I got the opportunity to really get to know him at a different level. Christopher was an amazing father. He was my best friend, but his activism was just phenomenal. Here in Virginia, he was a congressional district chair. He also did fundraising, he did outreach, he did communications. His love, his passion was events. You could literally find him working at the booths, talking to the public at every single event that the LPVA had.
And that's quite frankly, that's a type of involvement that almost near spiritual involvement with the movement that we so desperately need right now. His example to me was as like you say, someone for whom the Libertarian Party was not a hobby, it was not an affectation, it was just an extension, a practical extension of the personal values that he embodied really in his everyday life. It's you don't meet a lot of folks who take it as, again, our hashtag on this show is take it personally. And that's oversimplifying it, isn't it?
We actually, it was one of the reasons why we bonded, was our reasons for doing what we do. And it wasn't because of us. It was because of our kids and our families and the people who come after us. We believed that everything we were doing and we are doing still will impact the lives of those who we love.
And you've melded together this amazing family. Um, you and Chris's uh, children came together, and you really are working for them, aren't you? I mean, at this
Yeah,
point.
everything that we did and that I do is for our beautiful children. Christopher had 5 children, and then they welcomed Brooklyn in open arms. I am still caring for the youngest 3. So I have Logan and Connor and Brooklyn. Um, they are absolutely my heart. And they know everything I do um, comes from the love of their father.
You've got coming up in a few months a very special event. I mean, every convention is special in its own way. Sometimes it marks transitions of parties and power and people, and the immersion of folks who are new to the cause, a recognition of folks who've been involved so long. But a significant part of this is going to be really with Chris in mind. I mean, uh, his hallmark and your hallmark have always been these grand organizations of events to which both of you have really a unique talent. Tell us about what this convention coming up means, both to you and him, and to the party as well. And then, give us a little idea of why people who, if at all possible, should make it down to Glen Allen to join you guys.
Well, so this is a very different convention, and I'm not saying it's different based on what we're doing or how it was, or the program or sponsorships or everything involved in it. Um, the background of this convention is very different. Um, when I was nominated for chair of the convention for the LPVA, um, it was under the understanding I was interim chair just to get everything started. Um, so earlier this summer, I sat down with Bo Brown. If anyone knows Bo, he's the former chair of LPVA, one of Christopher's best friends. He lives right across the street, so I get to yell at him constantly. I sat down with him and talked to him about the plans for the convention, and he knew who really wrote them. Christopher had originally been the individual who was going to be chair of the convention. He had started making plans back in February of 2020, or sorry, 2021, about what he wanted to see and what he wanted the entire weekend to convey to the members of the party here. So every detail, all the theme, the way it was built, the way it was packaged, was all him. I was honored that he asked me to be interim because he knew I would do the job. Um, and then upon his passing, obviously, I became the chair, and I was the chair already. But the idea was that he was going to be able to come back. He joked about being the bartender for the weekend. In August 28th, I believe, we had an SCC meeting. It was either 28th or 29th. And the SEC had informed me that they were renaming the Activist of the Year award after Christopher. I got to spend a little bit of time with him that evening and let him know, and he was very honored. He also said that he had planned on winning it, so he said if someone else beat him, he was going to be very upset. But he was so happy that all his work was going to be remembered, and so it's really important to our family. To our 2 youngest will be there. at the after party during the convention, or at the convention. So when the award is given away, our son Connor will be the one handing it to the winner. And just in the fashion that my husband always did, was make a big scene, because that's who he was, and not a negative scene, just a big scene. He gave me some final words for the LPVA. So not only are we going to be honoring him, he wanted to honor them. So the weekend consists of a gala Friday night, where we will host a silent auction that begins at 6 p.m. that night and goes until 6 p.m. Saturday for Feed More Virginia. They were one of Christopher's favorite organizations here. They help feed lower income families here in Virginia, all over the state. We'll also have national and state candidates for internal roles, giving them opportunities to speak, and as well as the organizations that we're working with during the convention. On Saturday morning, we will have trainings. We will have communication strategy training. We will have what to expect when running for an office in Virginia. We will then have social media training and press training. For lunch, we will are going to have Spike Cohen in as our keynote speaker. He will be giving a discussion on liberty, love, and the liberty movement. Then we will have our business meeting, and then the after party. The after party, we will obviously have a fun time. That's our plan. But we will have a speech from our new chair. Christopher had given me a list of items he wanted donated to the LPVA for an auction to put money towards comms and outreach. So I have those items. Spike's going to help us with that. And then we were going to have a pie fundraiser. So we have quite a few of our SEC members who have committed their faces to extra dessert that night. So we're really excited that they're going to be helping with that. And then we'll be ending the night with mixtape karaoke featuring Spike Cohen. So we're planning a very, very fun weekend with everything from a gala to training to this amazing after party, to getting to listen to Spike speak about his experiences within the LP. And I think overall, the team that we've built, which is absolutely amazing. We have a phenomenal team. It's myself and 9 other people. We've really honored what Christopher wanted to do for this convention. I am so proud. I am so tired. But we have 2 months left. Right now, we are speaking with organizations and businesses and national candidates, as well as our state candidates, on what else we are looking for to fill the needs of our convention and our members. So we're kind of in just the last little bit where we're finishing up marketing, and we're getting everything just completed. So the convention tickets are open. You can register now. The whole weekend, right now, you can get the whole weekend for $150. That includes food for the gala, the after party, and lunch. The price does go up January 14th, so I would get your ticket pretty quickly. And then we stop selling registration tickets for this on February 4th. Because we do have to get all the names and numbers in for our vendors and our SEC and XCOM. But we have hit our goal of packages sold, our bottom goal. So my team knows me, so I want to reach the high goal. So that's what we're doing now. And we're really, really excited to see a convention like this. Nothing has been put on like this in Virginia. And this is just kind of taking them to that next step, that next level that they need as a state party.
I want to mention and stress, and because I know that the Radical Caucus is planning on being there, this is an organization, excuse me, this is a moment where we can all come together as a party, recognize the life and the passage of someone who's part of our extended family, and really, I think, reflect as his spirit guides us, really in a very positive manner. So I am just going to call out all the different groups. I'm going to even call out the newest one. What is it? The Fried Salmon Caucus. But I'm going to call all of them out, as this is an opportunity to send someone from within Virginia or nearby, or hell, fly in. It's worth it. It's going to be a hell of a party. Take a moment for this to be a unifying event.
Well, we're so happy. We've got people coming from out of state. We've got different caucuses that have already joined us to help our members and to honor Christopher. We also have brought on a title sponsor, Concerned Veterans of America. I would be distraught if I didn't mention them. They're a wonderful organization that we work
Yeah,
with. They are excited to see Spike again.
Please tell us all about them.
Well, Concerned Veterans of America, they are a phenomenal group. They're located here in Virginia, and we've worked with them quite a bit off and on. So we're very excited to continue that relationship, and they're helping us with the marketing, and they're helping us make sure that everything is going to go so well that weekend. We are giving them an opportunity to speak to the members. As well as the incoming guests. So what they're doing is they're pushing up, they're gearing up to push for a war power reform, and they're looking to repeal the 2002 AUMF. It was actually, unfortunately, put into the Build Back Better.
Yeah.
So the unfortunate part of that is that they did have a major bipartisan support, and they had the votes to get this repealed. Personally, I think, like a lot of libertarians, it should be individualized. This should just be repealed. It shouldn't have to be a part of something. But they are also looking in January and February of this year. So we're very excited to support them in this mission. They're going to be doing a big accountability to the VA system. They're going to be pushing this heavily. They want to disclose the information that was found in the FOIA lawsuit, and offer solutions to give more options to the medical choices for our veterans. I know that this is a big thing that we love over here in Virginia. Our oldest, Logan, is a Marine, so it is really important to us, and I think to a lot of people, that the veterans be given what they were promised, and one of those things is proper health care. So yeah, we are absolutely so honored to work with them, and if you are interested in finding out what you can do to help, or finding out more about the organization, you can go to their website and their Facebook page. If you go to the LPVA Facebook page, you can easily find us talking about them on our posts, and you can click and go straight over there.
Excellent. Again, it's a wonderful opportunity. We're going to remind you of this across the LPTV shows that we do incessantly for the next couple of weeks, to remind you that there's a wonderful opportunity to go and be part of something very special. If you can't, there's all sorts of opportunities to celebrate the life of Chris Davis by sponsoring and making a statement. And if you do get a chance to go, using this as an opportunity to bring this together as a family, so that we understand how blessed we are to have people like this. And of course, Aaron. So, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know this is obviously very emotional, but that's what's always made you a very special part of the libertarian family. Your commitment, both emotionally and politically, spiritually, and the sheer work effort that you continue to, even in difficult times, to generate for the bigger picture, which is liberty.
Well, I am planning on taking a nice long nap on February 21st. I promise you that. But as Christopher and I both believed, this isn't just for me, and this wasn't just for him. This is for our family, and that includes all of you. because the Liberty Movement, the members of the Libertarian Party, even the small L's, we are all family. We are all fighting for the same thing. And how we do that is putting together things that benefit all of us and focus all of us and motivate all of us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Erin Davis, longtime Indianan libertarian warrior, now a daughter of Virginia, wife and co-conspirator, co-worker to the late Chris Davis. Erin, thanks for joining us tonight. We're grateful.
Thank you, Pat. Much love.
I just want to let that hang out there for a second. We had an opportunity to talk to Erin a few times over the last few weeks and just thought it was important that she join us. And it's really, it's a great transition to, if you will, the purpose of tonight's program. This is not a traditional affiliate support corner where we talk about, well, how to get out the vote and how to have conventions and best practices and all the arcane but important stuff of running an affiliate. Tonight's a little bit more spiritual, both in reflection of the holiday season, our mission as libertarians, how we can use voluntarism as a way to support our community, our self-appointed, sometimes elected role as stewards. So we're going to bring up a few more people. Joining me tonight for the very first time is a new friend, someone I had the opportunity to speak with a few times. I met him finally in person. Alex Flores is the alternate for Region 1 for the Libertarian National Committee, but he's much more than that. Later on, we're going to have James Toller. He has been on a few times with us in the last few weeks as he continues to spearhead the recovery of the tornado victims in Western Kentucky. And so I had a little bit of an epiphany this week because I wanted to talk about voluntarism. And, you know, we've got voluntarism, and voluntarism. To me, voluntarism is essentially not only just understanding that we wish to replace the role of government in terms of charity, stewardship, and support of our community, mutual aid, some folks call it, but we actually need to do it. And it became clear to me that the efforts of members of the Libertarian Party of Kentucky in reacting to the crisis there, it's incomprehensible, not only just the loss of life, some of the saved lives, the sheer destruction for so many families, both libertarian and folks who haven't quite realized they're libertarian yet. So I had to respond with object lessons in folks who actually embrace that. It is critical to us, if we are to be taken seriously, not only just by the electorate, but by ourselves, that we engage in private acts of mutual aid, charity, voluntarism. And when I met Alex, he told me about something remarkable, which is called the greasy porcupines. Alex, welcome to the show for the first time. Hopefully this will be the first of many times. Tell us, first of all, about yourself, how you got involved in the party. You're now, as a relatively young person, you're involved at the national level. But most importantly, tell us what your libertarian moment was in coming to the notion of the greasy porcupines.
Well, thanks for having me on, Pat. I appreciate you having me. So I came to the Libertarian Party in 2012, and it was through the first Gary Johnson campaign. Actually, it was through somebody who is actually now the Utah State Chair. His name's Barry Short. He was running for a local office in the town that I was living in, and invited me out to a debate, and I liked everything he had to say, and then he introduced me to Gary Johnson, and from there on out, I was hooked. I was like, this is where I belong politically, and since then I've been involved in several campaigns, different initiatives to legalize cannabis in different states, and so Greasy Porcupines came about in 2020 during the a lot of the shutdowns that were going on around the country. I was incorporating I was encountering a lot of motorists who had been out of work for a while, and couldn't afford to get the repairs that they needed done on their vehicles. And so through mutual aid or bartering or some kind of exchange, or a lot of times I would just donate my services, and then we just work on getting them the parts that they needed. We got a lot of people back on the road, and so it's been about 15 months now, and we've helped about 126 motorists.
Wow. If I could engage in, as they say, the common parlance for the moment, that is, in fact, libertarian as fuck. When you told me about it in Boston, we were in the midst of the crisis du jour that typically occupy LNC meetings, and we were all in the midst of, finding ways to cannibalize the budget. And I kind of drank it. Wow, that's great, man. That's cool. And then I went home and actually did a little work on it. And here's the beauty of that. First of all, as you mentioned, we evade a great deal of the impact of your federal government and your state and local government's involvement on multiple levels. We perform a service where there is joint benefit, both financially and spiritually. The gift of your skills and others' skills as auto mechanics is hard to really put a penny on. You give folks the opportunity to return to a real independence, which is the ability at some level to support oneself with work in these challenging times. And I get, and I wonder sometimes if we need to reflect upon this as libertarians, is how expensive is it to be broke in today's society? It's really expensive to be broke. It's really expensive to be poor. And what do I mean by that? I mean the hidden costs of having to buy an older car because you can't afford the brand new one with the $5,000 warranty, and how that, if without support from somebody, can entrap someone into a life that where they don't really get to experience their full potential. And yet someone comes along with a plan where there's mutual benefit, which lifts everyone up spiritually, right? What type of work do you guys do? I mean, I wish you were closer. I'll say that. Can you open up one in Boston or Rhode Island? What are some of the services you guys perform?
So we're, typically a mobile auto repair service. That's what is the bread and butter of the business. We offer pretty much any repair service, short of heavy engine work or transmission. But we can do most repairs on site at your home. And, we do anything from oil changes to alternators, water pumps, pretty much anything that would be needed to repair a vehicle. And, we have some individuals who like to pay more for our services, and we take the extra money, the extra revenue that's generated, and we put it towards our parts fund and our bumper to bumper fundraisers. And with those, we basically help individuals who can't afford the parts that they need to get back on the road.
And let me just reflect on the mobile nature of it itself. If you're in a difficult position in life and you're having to sort of keep that older car resuscitated, maybe time and time again, one of the worst aspects of that is simply the logistics of getting that vehicle in for a repair. I very often, life seems so simple when things are good, but very often a lot of folks didn't have the money to join AAA. They didn't have the extra money to put onto the insurance payment that they're barely making in these days of inflation and chaos and governmental overreach and just meltdown. And so one loss just essentially snowballs. So the notion that you could go to someone's home and fix their repair without very often the hundreds of dollars necessary to tow something somewhere is in itself amazing. What do you think? What is the percentage? I mean, are virtually all your repairs mobile?
Yep, all of our we don't have a actual physical location at the moment. It's all
Okay.
mobile repair. So,
Cool.
Another cool savings is, a lot of times we're able to be cheaper than what people would pay for a deductible for their auto insurance. So we have an individual right now who actually their insurance wouldn't cover their repairs, but they, for the price that we can find parts that are color match their vehicle and salvage yards and things like that, that we are able to repair an individual's vehicle for cheaper than even what an auto deductible would be for their auto insurance. So,
And who are some of the folks, and what are some of the backgrounds? And I want to segue into a fundraiser that you're doing right now, that you're doing on behalf of someone. So you actually crowdsource some of the more challenging repairs.
Yeah, there's only so much that I can do. Just repair wise, a lot of times we need parts and things like that we just can't afford, that we don't have them for free. And so we crowdsource with everybody as far as pooling together resources and trying to help people afford the parts that they need. We've had, single parents who are on tight budgets, just not able to afford, the basic parts that they need to get their cars running or to have them running reliably. So, we've had people donate, different, funds for services, and we've been able to, like I said, we've helped 126 motorists so far to date.
Wow. Now that's outstanding. Now, the next question is, how do we take this from your perspective as someone who's been involved in the party, someone who is involved now at a national level? How do we both take the philosophy of what you're doing and the more practical aspects, and how do we bring that, as they say, to scale? In other words, what can be done to encourage other people around Libertarian Nation to engage in acts like this? How difficult was this for you to get set up, and just how much need do you feel is there for this service?
It's definitely a labor of love. I don't make a ton of money with the way that it's set up, but a lot of the extra money that I do make, I roll back into the service and try to help whoever I can. So, the benefit, I would say, is that it uplifts your community. When you're able to help people out in your community and make lives better of the people that are around you, it's able to spread. And when people find out that these are your principles and these are what guide you and motivates you, people want to find out and want to know more about it. And the vehicle that I drive around in and do all my repairs with has a lp.org on the license plate. And so everybody, whenever I get asked questions about it, and say, yeah, this is what we do and why we do it. And we just want to make the world around us better. We want to set the world free in our lifetime, and we want to set it free of things that would hinder our ability to help each other in these ways.
Well, again, it's when I meet people who, and we talked earlier in the show about Aaron and Chris, when we talk about people who actually live the life, it's such a powerful lesson, really, to all of us. Your ability to act as a libertarian ultimately is only limited by your desire to act as a libertarian. Folks can carve out all or parts of their life, and they do so every day. There are quiet heroes in this movement around the country who simply, and it's so cliched, but simply walk the walk. They're not virtue signaling. They're not pearl clutching. They're not out there demonstrating to the world what they're doing. I had to ask Alex to come on and talk about this because I want this to be an example to all of us, to find ways that through your own individual skills. And Alex, I contend that everyone has got superpowers. We all do. It's just realizing what they are, trying to hone them, and then finding ways to take those superpowers out to both the libertarian and non-libertarian world and live that libertarian life. And how can, you're going to stay on with us because we've got another guest coming on, but how can folks, and tell us, you've got a specific fundraiser that you're doing right now. If you could tell us a little bit about that and how we're going to put up on screen how folks can contribute. to your efforts?
Sure. Yeah, we've got a what we call a bumper to bumper fundraiser. Right now, we've got the holiday edition going on right now. It's to help an individual named Robert. He's a disabled veteran. He's also a libertarian, a registered libertarian here in Arizona. And we are trying to raise the funds to repair his vehicle. The insurance basically wouldn't cover the claim for the damage to his vehicle. And so we're trying to get the things done that are needed to be repaired. And then he's also got some other maintenance things that need to be done to the vehicle to make sure that it's staying on the road and reliable for him.
Wow. And where can folks donate to this?
You can go to greasyporcupines.org/donate, and that'll bring you to a link that it's got there's a QR code for PayPal and Venmo. I offer those just because I can do those directly without any fees. And so I'm able to apply every penny of what's sent to me through those channels to the fundraiser that we're doing. There's also a donate link for a PayPal there, but PayPal charges whatever fees that they do. But yeah, so it's greasyporcupines.org/donate.
Excellent. Now stay on with us, because we're going to bring up someone who's been on the show a few times lately. James Tyler, are you with us, James?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Pat?
Good. Welcome back. James is, in fact, the vice chair of the Libertarian Party of Kentucky, and he has been spearheading a number of efforts, if you will, over the past, it seems like an eternity, but it's been how long? How long, James? About a week or 10 days at this point?
Yeah, it happened actually a week ago this morning, actually.
Oh, okay. It just seems like so much longer. Tell us about how it's going. I think you sent us a couple pictures. I know we have our pictures scattered all over the place. If we have them, I know John will bring them up in a minute or two or so. But first of all, if you could bring to this audience the scope of the disaster, just the entirety of this, the human tragedy, and even the handful of human celebrations we've had.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating, actually. This EF5 tornado that hit through Mayfield was on the ground for 226 miles. Just a little over 200 of that was in Kentucky itself. Mayfield was the hardest hit. You go to Mayfield, you go downtown Mayfield, it's just a bunch of toothpicks laying on the ground. There's nothing standing. There's 10,000 people pretty much without anything. But what we've done over the last week, we done 2 tractor trailer loads, gathering donations here in Lexington, and took them out to Western Kentucky. So we're looking just on the tractor trailer loads. Members of the LP, I got to say, a big thanks, because when I put this out there, it's like the members of the LP stood up and they took this far bigger than I ever intended it or ever even planned it. Them 2 truckloads, we're probably looking at $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 worth of merchant or things going out for the relief there in Western Kentucky. Not only that, but we have, raised the money like through the cash apps and things. We put out probably $3,000-$4,000 in hotel rooms for people that need them, and going to continue to need them. They're not going to be able to build their house back very quickly out there, so they're going to continue needing them. I get calls every day for, man, I need help. We step up, we help them out. We've even had one family that her boy has to go. She has a 1-year-old boy that has a genetic disorder, and it's affecting his liver and his kidneys. And he has to go down into Nashville, Tennessee to Vanderbilt for all of his treatment. And they lost everything. They had 2 vehicles. Both of them got crushed. The little boy not going to be able to make it to his treatment. So I made a phone call to a car dealership here in Lexington. Found them, it's not a brand new car, obviously, but found a car dealership, said that they would pay half of it if we can come up with the other half. We came up with that. We purchased the vehicle, and the vehicle's on their way out to Western Kentucky to give to this family. So it's going great.
Oh, that's outstanding. Now, something we've talked about before, but if you could touch on briefly, the recovery, the effort out there in general started out with a really just an exercise in life saving, if you will. You wanted to get people out of there. There was a lot of what's become sadly stock footage of people literally digging through homes with their hands, with their tools. You then moved into sort of a recovery mode. Now, has the rebuilding started out there? Is that where we're at right now with the general tragedy overall?
Well, everybody, they put out today that every single person is accounted for now. Finally, a week later.
Wow.
And the rebuilding's not going to start, guys, probably until spring. It's going to take that long through this winter to clean that mess up out there. I mean, you take a whole town of 10,000 people. I know it don't sound like a lot, guys, but you take 10,000 people, you're looking at least 2,500, 3,000 homes probably, all the businesses, even the courthouse. I mean, every single thing just flattened, demolished. It's going to take a while just to clean up to even start to rebuild. So it's going to be at least spring probably before any kind of rebuilding will even get to start.
Wow. What are you currently, are you in a mode now where you, because of the type of equipment you need to buy, you prefer cash donations?
Yeah, it's going to come up to where they're going to need some fairly heavy equipment. And even if it's to maybe even help owners, because FEMA just now got on the ground out there. They might get their trailers out there for living quarters for them, but it's still going to be a while. What is next is the heavy duty cleanup. Big chainsaws. They're going to need anything and everything. So we're still going to be here to help them out if they need that. We're not just going to say, okay, we brought you some donations, see you later. That's just not how I do things. When I step up and do something, I'm in it for the long haul. And, I'll be there to help them, whatever they need all the way through it. So yeah, I mean, cash donations, if you're even close to the area and can help, time, come up, come over, come down, however you want to say it, put in an hour or two, anything helps.
Do you find that, on the weekend, you've got opportunities for people who might be from neighboring states who have the opportunity to parachute in to help out for the day? Would you, is there a central point they can contact you, obviously here on social media? But if there's a contact point number or email, phone number, or email, if folks want to come out and just do some grunt labor, get a little bit of a workout in, how would you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, look, my phone number is no stranger to anybody.
We put it everywhere. I'm wondering if when the more interesting phone calls start coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I put my phone number everywhere. If you want to, you can give me a call. 502-735-3073. That's my personal cell phone number. If I don't answer, leave me a message. I'll get back to you, or just send me a text.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And these folks aren't going to have a Christmas. They're not going to have a Hanukkah. They're not going to have a Kwanzaa in anywhere near shape or form. Is anyone sort of, and I know it's so hard because the physical is so important, but is there anyone out there who is tending to sort of those spiritual needs?
I'm sure there are probably some out there. I haven't heard of any, Pat. But I mean, I would just have to think that there would be. Um, I can't answer that honestly.
Right.
I don't know.
And we know that there were a couple of libertarian families directly impacted. Do we have, without bringing their names up, is there, as far as you know, folks in our immediate libertarian family are all accounted for? Everything's good. In some
Yeah.
sense, there's some recovery going on for those folks.
Yes. Every one of them's been accounted for. As far as we know, no injuries, even within the Libertarian Party. As far as Kentucky goes, it took us a while to hear back from a couple of them, but rightfully so. You know, they went through a lot, but we did eventually hear from them, and everything's good. You know, lost homes completely, lost their business or whatever, but we have heard and accounted for all of them.
Excellent. We're going to bring up Alex for a second. Alex, any thoughts on this? A reflection from you on what libertarians should do at moments like this? As someone who's literally life embodies mutual aid.
No, I'm just, it's impressive to see, and I commend you for your efforts that you've been making out there. I can't even imagine what people are going through with, you know, the devastation. And so, you know, my heart goes out to you, and thank you, you know, for what you're doing out there. Truly.
Let me throw a question out to both of you, Alex and James, as folks who are leaders in the libertarian movement and who both respond routinely to these calls for help. Is it time for either at the national level or the state level that there be some form of organization in place to respond to challenges like this that impact communities around the nation?
So like a libertarian disaster relief group?
And I know that there's a couple of folks out there who do that for their region, but it just strikes me that if we can't live to the examples or to the standards that we demand of our quote unquote public servants, then are we really qualified to raise that flag? I don't know, James, what do you think? We're having a conversation here.
I think we can definitely be qualified to raise that flag. And I think that I think the Libertarian Party could probably come up with something like that. Rather it just be like I don't know, an 8-region thing, you know, to where you have, you know, each region of the country, you know, covered, or, you know, each state or just however. But I think that flag can be raised. And I think that, you know, with the right person heading it up, it can really turn into something, you know, pretty good, and, you know, all over the country. I mean, I wouldn't care to go to California and help. I wouldn't care, you know, that's just me. You know, but I think it could be done for sure.
Alex, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think a network, you know, what I eventually wanted to see happen with the service that I've got going was to see it go, you know, network nationwide with mechanics all over the country. And so I would love to see, you know, some kind of nationwide service or something like that come together of you know, a band of libertarians to where we can you know, show the world that, you know, why we live this way, and why we do things the way that we do, and why it's more effective than to live within the constraints of our government when we're trying to help each other out and help each other up.
Both of you are examples of again, and yeah, to a certain degree, you know, there's a salesman in me that you know, we like to really drill home the example here, but the statement needs to be made. I'll say it. I think as a community, we can do a better job. There are certainly folks out there doing it already. I want to do nothing to diminish their efforts. In fact, folks, if you're listening or you listen to the show in the coming days and weeks, and you have an organization like this, that you're engaged in mutual aid and community support, that you're intimately involved with your community in some respects. And so many of our candidates already are, by the way. I beg of you to come forward and give us an example so that perhaps the light goes on in someone who's listening for the first time, very much the way that light went on for so many of us to join the movement, to be part of this movement. This isn't something that anyone is being introduced to at birth, unless you grew up in a libertarian household. They're certainly not being introduced to it in school, unless you go to one of those rare homeschool organizations that focus on a life of liberty. In fact, if anything, our entire culture is leaning towards a dependence on government services to bail them out in difficult times. They look for the government, and they're certainly not interested on any scale at training folks to be independent and to live a life of self-ownership. So I beg folks who are doing this for real to step forward and say, okay, because it points out to the notion that folks within us, within our communities, are engaged in very quiet, very often behind the scenes acts of daily bravery and heroism. I mean, because they're actually just saying to themselves, without being spurred on, without being part of anything national, they're just saying to themselves, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. And they take it upon themselves very often to create the vehicles. I'm just saying, let's bring all these examples to life so that if folks who might not be the type to start one from scratch themselves can certainly find ways to support both of you. And that's, I think, is the lesson. If in fact you're not called to do it yourself, answer the call to support those who can. James, just give us a run through one more time of how folks can reach out to you. What's the best way now in this current stage of relief efforts to support your efforts?
Yeah, so again, you can reach me either on social media or text message or a phone call. 502-735-3073 is my phone number. If you can't get out and you can help, they got the donation apps up there. If you can, guys, we're libertarians. We could take $1 and stretch it for 20.
That is true.
Even if it's $1, anything will help. Trust me, it all goes to them out there. I've got receipt upon receipt upon receipt upon receipt. I will show every single receipt of every single dime. I don't care. I've got it. So everything that is brought in goes to Western Kentucky and helping them in whatever they need. Whether it be cleanup equipment or hotel rooms because they don't have a place to stay or something like that. So you can make that donation. If you can come down, again, give me a call. I'll meet you out there. I don't care. It's a 4-hour drive, but whoop-de-doo. 4-hour drive to me as a truck driver is, I do that before I open my eyes up. So I'll meet you out there. I'll work right alongside of you. I don't care. So anything at all, guys, can really go a long way.
Excellent. And Alex, why don't you bring us home again? Tell us, before we sign off, tell us how folks can support your efforts. And Alex, what I invite you to do is when you do one of these crowdsourcing / fundraising / money bombs / emergency efforts, just let us know here at the show. And we're looking for folks to bring to the table their efforts so that we can amplify them, whether it be a special convention, as we were talking about earlier in the show with Erin Davis, in honor of her husband, Christopher Davis, whether we're talking about emergency relief efforts in the case of what's happening in Western Kentucky with Mr. Toller. And then, of course, in your example, the year-round, if you will, part of the rainbow of a community effort to simply use libertarian principles of barter and mutual aid to improve the lives of people who are facing the sort of challenges that sadly are endemic in our society today. How can folks reach out to you?
Sure. If you want to contribute to the cause, you can go to greasyporcupines.org/donate. And that's basically the way to contribute to the effort that we have going on right now. The current fundraiser that we have is bumper to bumper fundraiser number 127. So if you use code B2B127 on your donation, it'll go directly to that fundraiser that we're doing right now. Otherwise, we just have a general parts fund that we usually keep on hand to help other motorists that are in need. So
Excellent.
And there's also a contact form on there. You can also reach out to me. I'm on all social media. As you know, you can look at Greasy Porcupines on Facebook, or also on Twitter. There's also, Instagram. There's all the social media. So
Excellent. Thanks to both of you. I know I'll be speaking to you both in the coming days. So this is really not a goodbye. This is a beginning. I would imagine too, Mr. Flores, if folks are looking to do something along the lines of Greasy Porcupines, whether it be on a part-time or a full-time basis, listen, folks, start out part-time, see what you can do on weekends for people. See if you can put something together where, even if you imagine the impact on someone who isn't a libertarian, may not have ever met a libertarian before, never mind our officers or leaders or our poobahs or our reform platforms or anything, but simply someone who extends a helping hand, finds a way through mutual aid or exchange or barter to do so in a prideful manner that represents growth for everyone. And imagine all of a sudden they learn that there's an entire community of us nationwide who are attempting to take this philosophy and bring it to the people. Imagine the impact on that one person's life that you can have, even if you can only do this on a part-time basis for a handful of people. I believe that's what we're missing right now. So a great big thank you. I mean, whatever tradition you celebrate, both of you have earned the merriest of Christmases, the happiest of New Year's, the light of Hanukkah, whatever it is that you embody. Congratulations to all of you and to everyone in Libertarian Nation this year. We've had on a few hundred candidates over the last year and a half. We've had on libertarian activists. We've had leaders of state and county affiliates, folks who in total are working to change our world. As we end this year, let's focus on them rather than the controversies or the arguments, the negativity. Let's focus on just how much we've accomplished in the last year, despite perhaps the most difficult of circumstances being presented to us individually and or as an organization. Folks, you've been listening to the Libertarian Affiliate Spotlight on LPTV, a production of the Libertarian Party Affiliate Support Committee. Valerie Sarwak serving as chair, and of course the Libertarian National Committee, Whitney Bilyeu serving as chair. As we approach the end of our year, we won't be on the air the next 2 Fridays. We're trying to put together sort of a year-end show for next Monday. I just want to make a personal thank you to John Gapso, who routinely serves on the big board, as we call it, but is the glue to making this happen. John, like so many other libertarian volunteers, has a full and rewarding day as an employee of a major corporation, and very often has to listen to me as he breaks all sorts of interstate speed laws to make it here from a full and rewarding day to what we do here. And quite frankly, these shows wouldn't be nearly as interesting without his assistance. Imagine just me whining into a microphone for an hour. Oof. So a thank you to all of you for this year. We've got great things lined up for next year. If you're a candidate, let us know. If you're running a charitable cause, let us know. If you're involved in mutual aid, let us know. If you have a money bomb going on, let us know. We're here to amplify both the spirit and the substance of the libertarian movement as a function of the Libertarian Party of America. Have a wonderful year end. Good night.